Hello, everyone. Oh, thought I was prepared. Welcome to my second live stream. Welcome to my Virgo channel. This is strictly a Virgo channel, though cross watchers are always welcome to tune in and watch. But understand that energy is a fluid, so roles may be reversed. So, actually, if you're a cross watcher, you may find that this video resonates more with you than the person that you're tapped into. And the reason why is because the more dominant the energy, meaning the more obsessive a person is, how much they think about a person, and how much emotion is towards their thought, is going to be the dominant energy. So you're going to have to take the message as it resonates best for you. Okay, so for those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Laura Schwan, and I also have a psychic soul healer oracle channel. Okay, there I do every single zodiac. So if you are not a Virgo and you are not a cross watcher, you might want to check out that channel. Now, anything that you need to know about me or about this channel, I should say, you'll find in the description box down below. Though, if you want to know more about me and the services that I offer, in the description box is my website link. So you can click on that and it will bring you straight to my website. All right. Now, the difference between me and other readers is I always just like to start by looking at the soul wounds, the psychological traumas, the karmic connections. And the reason why is because how I want to shape the type of readings that I do are healing style readings, because a lot of times answers are not just yes or no. Yes, we can see what someone is going to do, but you definitely want to know what the person's intention behind what they were going to do and why. And when we are able to do that, we're able to integrate our own spiritual wounds. So I just always start my readings off using my deck, and then I choose from a bunch of different decks, just like everybody else. But we just start the reading off, I think, a little bit differently. And again, I focus more on the traumas because, again, I don't like to predict, because if you're not healed, you won't like your prediction. Knowing what a person's intention is going to help you see and be able to determine what's best for you. Okay, now without further ado, this is again just a Virgo channel, and cross watchers are more than welcome to watch, as I just said. Okay, first card out is obscurity. So Virgo, you could feel that someone's giving you very little, or you could be giving very little to someone. And it's opinionated, and someone is giving you very little because they're very opinionated about how they believe that you should act with them. I kind of feel like, Virgo, you're dealing with someone that wants you to treat them as if they're superior. And this is a karmic theme that plays out in your life. Remember, I look at the wounds first. I look at the underlying intention first. We'll get into the storyline after. But again, this is important to know, because someone's, again, breadcrumbing you. And if they're stuck in a thought pattern or a belief because of the family that they grew up in or the environment that they live in, then you're not going to be able to just change this person. People don't change. So I kind of feel like there's a soul connection between you and someone else, possibly a Gemini, possibly a Sagittarian, and possibly a Cancer is what I'm feeling. But it could be for any zodiac. But those three, I'm definitely feeling. And I'm feeling like you're in a relationship with somebody, or there is a connection. You may be in a connection where you're getting very little. And it's again, and there's a diluted way of thinking. And the diluted way of thinking is again, the person believes that you should come to them, that you should be subservient to them, but they've done nothing to to warrant for you to have that behavior towards them. Absolutely nothing. That's why it's diluted, because the person is like wants to put themselves on a pedestal. And when a person wants to put themselves on a pedestal, it means that they have a really big ego. Now you may say, yeah, I am connected to someone that I care about that has a huge ego and is deluded. So understand, if you're trying to change this person's mind by talking, you're not going to get anywhere. And it's going to create a lot of emotional turbulence. So I feel like one of your karmic lessons is to stay emotionally balanced while you're trying to deal with someone that wants to give you so little and then wants to act as if they're more superior than you in order for themselves to feel good about themselves. This is what we call two people that are not on the same vibration. Again, spirit descending. Though I do believe the reason why you are in this person's life is for them to like have an awakening, for them to realize that they're out of balance. Because the spirit only descends when, first of all, we become aware of what's blocking us, what's not working in our life. And a lot of times we don't want to look at it. So when the spirit descends, a lot of times it's through love. It's through, again, a passion. So a passion might not be a connection to another person. It could be a connection to something that you love and inspires you and, again, stirs up your heart and your soul, where it's, again, that's the only way that we can heal. And the reason why is because God works through us, and he works through us through our spirit. Right? So it's, again, and through our emotions. And so love is one way, but also a passion. So I'm feeling someone gave you so little, and it's because, again, they're opinionated, and they, in a way, they want to be with a strong person, but I don't believe that they know how to be with a strong person. So I want to go into what's the past life connection between you and this person, or what are your karmic lessons. Let's look at past life, just to get an idea of what we're dealing with, because it's, again, every relationship that you are in is one to grow your soul. It's one to expand consciousness. So I want to see, let's take a look and say, look at this, lessons and blessings. So again, I feel like a lesson and a blessing in this type of spiritual union is that there's a blessing right in front of this person's face. And I feel like the lesson in a past life is that you guys weren't together because the person didn't, now in a past life, it might have been you. We don't know yet. But in this life, this person is not seeing the blessing within this spiritual union because they're too busy looking at their opinions. They're too busy stuck in their ego. They're stuck in, again, a deluded way of thinking about themselves, and a delusional way of believing how you should act, as if you should be subservient to them. Now, I don't think they're conscious 100%. That's why when the spirit descends, what is it doing? There's a realization. There's a lot of times a realization. And the only way that there's a realization a lot of times is when we get our mind off of it. So I'm feeling like also, Virgo, that you've been in separation with your soulmate twin flame. And so look, and there's a sense that your person, again, is on a different vibration. So they feel that, there's unrequited love here. Like you don't love them because you're not becoming subservient to them. So it's, again, they're delusional, and they're delusional because they've dated a lot of people that have done this, that have bowed down, have overcompensated and abandoned themselves in order to make them feel good. And because you're not doing it, this person feels as if you don't care. Because again, they're actually projecting that you're not seeing the blessing within this union, when really they need to learn the lesson that they're not, again, opening up their heart and coming forward, because they're stuck in their ego. you know and this is what the problem is. Okay. So, and again, when I see farm, like the first thing that I think about is hard work, right? Like, I mean, when you work on a farm, that's hard work. So this person believes that love is difficult. They believe that love is hard. There's someone that's also very grounded. There's someone that's very earthy. I feel a lot of earthy energy. And possibly, Virgo, you are not very earthy energy, but you possibly have a lot of emotional energy, a lot of mental energy, a lot of spiritual energy. So here we are. We have two different people, again, that love each other, because it's, again, there's unconditional love. But the person, again, is stuck in their thought patterns of how they believe that this relationship needs to be. And they're not seeing the blessing within this relationship. So they're getting a lot of lessons, and lessons hurt. So they believe that love is hard. As again, they're a very physical type person, again, which is what I see, is what I know, is what I believe, just the facts, not a spiritual person. So now you have two different people. Again, two people that care about each other, love each other, but they're on two totally different planes. One person's on a very physical and very, again, works well with the elements of the physical world, but they're very left-brained. And now we have somebody that's very right-brained, very intuitive, very spiritual, and with that, there's, again, sometimes an imbalance. There's a hard time to find that middle ground. So again, because the person believes that, has a perception of how you should be. But thankfully, again, the Spirit Descending card means that there's some sort of realization. And sometimes that is I just can't break away from this person. I just can't walk away from this person. Like, I don't understand. I look for this person within every single person. So again, sometimes it's love that first stirs us up, right? If someone's very ego and very left brain, they're not thinking about all the spiritual things. They don't even know. And they're not awakened to it. The Spirit Descendant talks about becoming awakened, but does so because, again, they feel that there is unrequited love. So what does that do? That triggers their ego, because they're also not used to this. Which is, again, brings us back to why they feel that you need to act a certain way, which is deluded thinking, which doesn't get them good results within the relationships, because it means it creates a lot of drama. So then the relationship never starts on an even ground. There's never real support. There's never good structure. There's never good balance. And balance you need to have, because balance allows us to go with the flow of life. And in life, we have to deal with other people and jobs and whatever is happening collectively within our exterior world, and then within our home and within our environment. So there's a lot to deal with. And if we're not balanced, then we don't feel supported, then this relationship, again, it doesn't have a leg to stand on. So this person kind of wants to come in and have everything without creating the support, without actually creating it. And this is what we see a lot of times within relationships. We see a lot of people that want to play house, that want to be like acting married for a certain amount of time, and then all of a sudden they don't want to do it. And so it's, again, it doesn't work that way. We don't learn the spiritual lessons. That's why I look at the karmic lessons, because right here, if you were to be in a relationship with this person, it would fall apart like a house of cards. because it would be based just on sex or on attraction or connection. And it's, again, there's nothing stable. There's no ground. The bones are what ground it. The bones only can happen when the spirit descends and grounds it into the physical world. Again, Asia. So that's kind of interesting. I believe, again, that on maybe you lived in Asia, so there's a sense of also that, very reserved. I mean, a lot of times Asian people don't show a lot of emotion. They're taught to be they're very cultured and very prestigious and but we don't think of them as showing a lot of emotion. There's a perception of the culture, and the culture of Asia, of the people that live in the continent, and how people were supposed to be. Almost from a long time ago, we know that the women were subservient, and they had very strict beliefs about how women should be, even down to the size of their feet. That they would have to wear shoes like the size of like 4, something ridiculous. And meanwhile, people are born with size 8, 9, 10, 12 feet, shoving their feet into a size 4. Can you imagine the pain of walking around in shoes that are that small? But again, a perception, like, if you're a woman, you need to be small and dainty. So even if you're not small and dainty, we will make you small and dainty. So it's, again, showing very rigid thoughts and beliefs. And possibly because there was, again, a long time ago, many, many, many years ago, there wasn't a lot of money in Asia, right? So they're very confined to their structures. So it's, again, and then also not showing emotion, because some of their cultures back in the day obviously were not easy. Like, I mean, having one child and giving up, you're having one child because you not allowed to have more than one. And then if it's a girl, giving it up, because, again, boys grew up and took care of the family, and everything was stereotyped, is what I'm getting at. And not just Asia, and China, and a lot of those Middle Eastern and Eastern and European cultures many, 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 many years ago, that's how it was. Even biblical times, that's how it was. It's like everyone took their place, and everyone was in a certain class, and everybody knew what class it was. And you didn't talk to those different classes. Why? Because it's like, or you didn't associate with those different classes, because your perception of them was, again, based on somebody else's opinion, really, and was very distorted. It's almost like Jewish people are cheap, or like Polish people are stupid. Like, I mean, these stereotypes that it like clearly don't make sense, because let me tell you something, every Polish person that I ever met was smart. Okay. And every Jewish person that I ever met worked hard. So again, these stereotypes that really are not, like black people only eat like watermelon. I mean, they're just stereotypes that don't make sense. And some ignorant person, said this is what it is from their perception. Again, and they were not coming from a high level of consciousness. Remember, we have evolved into a higher state of consciousness through what's going on in society. Again, what's going on in society, there's a lot of turbulence going on, because there's a lot of changes that, stirs up a lot within inside of us. So it's, again, that was not happening. So people were kind of like horses with those, horses that have those blinders on, so that they can't look anywhere except for right in front of them. So it's, again, it's very rigid. That's the energy between you and this person. And it's mainly because they want you to be a certain way. And you won't do it, Virgo, and you shouldn't do it, because it's, again, on an unconscious level, that on an unconscious level that it's all about respect. It's that love without respect is what the foundation would be for this. And that's what this person needs to learn it. And you're also wise enough, Virgo, and this is how I know you're on two different spiritual planes, is because you're not telling this person. You're making them figure it out for themselves. And so you're really utilizing that. If you love them, set them free. And if they come back, they're yours concept into it, because the person has an awakening. Otherwise, you guys will keep being triggered, because there's a lot of triggers that are going on here. They're on both parties, because again, one person's like, I know, can feel like you love me, but then you give me nothing. And the other person says, I know that you love me and you're not giving me anything. So like you're almost in a Mexican standstill. No one's moving. But there's very strong psychic connection with this person. So in that, it's not grounded, so it's not going to go anywhere. So over time, what's going to happen is someone's going to explode. Someone's going to get mad, or you're going to avoid each other until one day you're going to run into each other, because understand, psychic energy is thought energy combined with emotional energy. You have two people doing that. Eventually, the universe is going to conspire to bring you two together. And I'm really feeling that's going to happen. Yeah, because you guys are withdrawn, like trying to not participate here, where you're in a Mexican standstill. But you're both like want it to happen, but you're both not showing, because you both feel like it needs to look a certain way or to be. And if anyone's in the right, not the thing that anyone is in the right, but it's the person that's not going to bow down, not going to give someone that has breadcrumbed, is not going to fall into that stereotype just to be with that person, the person that they're connected to. Now, I don't know whether this is you, or Virgo, or the person you're connected to, but I mean, I would find it very difficult that it would be Virgo, because Virgos tend to not be martyrs. Okay, they tend to not be martyrs. Like, I feel like this person will make excuses why they can't give. And that's another thing, why we have to say, hey, okay, so this person is breadcrumbing, they're not giving a lot. Why is that? If, again, they're a soulmate twin flame, why is that? Again, we see the ego, but what else is behind it? Because the ego wouldn't be there if there wasn't trauma. So we have to dive even deeper. And when we do, we see that they're being a martyr, that they're giving up their happiness. They're giving up, and that could be because they, again, are connected to someone, or maybe they have a lot of different responsibilities, I feel like. Maybe, like, again, I'm feeling like there could be, because this is collective, obviously, a few different reasons why a person would be a martyr, but a person is a martyr because it feeds their ego. So a lot of times they'll give up what they want, but it's not so much that they're giving up what they want, it's because they may not be able to make a decision, or they may, again, say, well, I need to, for my children, or I need to take care of all these other responsibilities, and I'm going to put my happiness on hold because I'm insecure. But why would this person be insecure? So it's, again, we look at and see, as part of it is because they come from a lower state consciousness, which means that they have only attracted that, because like goes to like. And it doesn't mean that they can't pull in someone that is attractive and again, smart and have, but that person of a higher level of consciousness wouldn't be able to stay in a person's life that's consciousness is not high enough. It would be equivalent to a page being with an empress in the tarot deck. We know that would never be. So the page is like a kid. Again, a lot of fantasy and a lot all talk, no action. Where an emperor like where an empress is not. An empress is someone that creates. An emperor needs to be with an emperor that comes in and again takes charge of a situation and knows exactly what to do. Not a page that's like, I don't know what to do, can't get out of my own way because I'm insecure. But so because I'm insecure and I don't know what to do, I'm going to hide behind the fact that I'm going to pretend that I'm a martyr. Like I look at what a good person I am. I'm a good person because I'm sacrificing. But if the person's on a low vibration, I don't really believe that they can. They could be being motivated by guilt, however, and they may even feel that. So I want to see what is the unhealthy attachment, because again, this tells me that there's an unhealthy attachment. Why why isn't your person, or why aren't you, Virgo, take it as it resonates, moving forward? Why is that? It's like there is someone keeping me from you, and I knew it. I freaking knew it. Didn't I say that? It was like this person's attached to someone, and this person is, so we can see codependent, again, relationship, or this person is being dominated from someone. So the relationship could be over, is what I'm feeling. However, somebody's trying to resurrect it. Someone's trying to like keep it alive, but it's again never going to be resurrected. And so there's a lot of manipulation because this person knows. I wish I could give you more. So it's again, feel like this person knows obviously that they're not giving anything. I also feel like they wish they had given more because I don't think that they even thought about it. This person was so stuck in their ego, and I feel like they thought that they were leaving something, and then they kind of got reeled back in. And I feel like it's an ex karmic. I feel like it's a relationship that they're in, but it's a relationship that they're physically in because they're in the same home, but there's no intimacy going on. It's actually two different people almost like living together. And I feel like one person reeled the person back, and the whole thing backfired. And now that your person wants to leave, they can't. They're being held, and they're seeing, I didn't give it anything. So karmically, this person like created a shit show for themselves because of their big fat ego. And so what happened is, what they're seeing is the person that they were with on some level that might have been subservient, might have been nice, might have been, because there's definitely a relationship here. If this person has so much control that they're keeping them from you, and I feel like they are, because it's again that the relationship was over. They might have been married, there might have been money, there might have been, it's again, there's something that a child, again, there's something big that this person that they're connected to from the past has over them that says, you ain't going nowhere. And the person now has had plenty of time to think, and they see that they did not treat you well, and they see that they can't really give it anything because the person that they're attached to is watching them like a hawk. Purposely probably knows that, I mean, the person definitely knows that there's someone there, because this person isn't giving them anything, which is driving them crazy. So that whole thing, that whole karmic mess needs to play out. And I'm feeling, Virgo, you better make sure that it's fully played out, because this is a karmic mess. Because the person was so big in their ego, and they were with someone that lived like a kind of like subservient to that, for a long time, or for any amount of time is a long time. So there is a lot of anger there, which is why the person's like, oh no, I own you. And now the person's looking at you and being like, you always gave me freedom. like they have time to think about the relationship, because again, there was a lot of freedom. I don't think that you guys ever had a relationship, or it never really, again, it never got off the ground because this person was so in their ego. Might have been the best thing. Okay. And so it says, I wish you were here with me. Yeah, of course, because you're with somebody that's controlling, is what it looks like. Again, doesn't let you do anything. So there's a sense of, again, feeling very alone. Again, when we are awakening and the spirit descends, which now the story is filling in even more, because look, the spirit is descending. Why? Well, because there is someone keeping them from you, and it's a karmic, and they realize how they never gave anything, and now they're like, I miss you. Like, I mean, I wish you were here with me, where the person again didn't get out of their head long enough to look at anything. So let's look at any love messages. I check on you from far. So I feel like they stalk your social media, that they, if you have mutual friends, they may be trying to find out things through mutual friends. I think that it's, again, they go look back on old emails or text messages. I think that they try to get information on you any which way that they can, except for actually coming to you directly, which is very odd. Again, no, it's not odd. Actually, Spirit saying it's not, because the person is insecure, which we had already told that, insecure. So it's really not. That's what insecure people do. And also, I feel like people that don't know what to do. And then I was pretending to be someone else. And I think that this person was pretending that they had their shit together, and that they were single, and that they weren't really single, to be honest with you. I think they're becoming single now. And I think that this situation ironically manifested into that, because they were not happy with their partner, which is why, again, they realized the connection between you and them were so strong, but they didn't really want that. They didn't want to have something of so much power over them. They couldn't do it, is really what I'm feeling. It's like there was someone interfering in our relationship. I got that twice. So there might have been like 2 delays here. There might have been like mutual delays, and possibly from mutual people, not all this person that was connected to. But I feel like because there was problems in this connection and it was falling apart, even though everyone was pretending that it wasn't, or was kind of trying not to, I kind of feel like your person on some level was trying not to, for financial reasons, for family if they had children, and for like outside resources, not for love, where the other person actually was holding on to the relationship and the emotional state. That's why this is turbulent, because again, whenever we have like some things break up, and not both parties are on the same page, it creates problems, obviously. So there was someone interfering, and I believe that the connection that this person was in possibly like was friends with this, like, again, your person's family, possibly talked to, like, again, people that they thought would influence your person to stay with them. So it confused your person a lot, because again, I feel like the rigid thinking, which we saw again in the beginning, which was like, again, this person's very grounded. They're very grounded in the fact that, how they believe that things needed to look. So they gave less, and, and they hid behind, what their family thought and what other people think, instead of, being able to come forward. They pretended that they were someone else because they're so insecure. And because they did, they're delusional on how they believe that this relationship could actually work out. In their mind, I believe that they really thought it could work out, but then they also like did a lot of things to sabotage it because of who they are. And so, and what who they are is opinionated again, like because of structured. But thankfully, like I said, we do see the awakening card here. Um, and that's a big deal because a person that awakens and sees what they do always has a chance to redeem himself. None of us are perfect and understand if this is a real soulmate twin flame, your person will forgive. Again, Virgo, if this is you, your person will forgive. And if it's your person, Virgo, I'm sure you will forgive. And the reason why is because, oh, card down, is because unconditional love does that. And soulmate twin flame relationship is all about, again, unconditional love, learning the lesson of that, especially if you're like this person like is all over the place. They don't know how to think. They're in their ego. It would be very easy to be mad and want to like hit this person and never talk to them ever again because of how they acted. Like in the beginning of this they were big in their ego, just stuck in their rigid thinking. And this karmic relationship that they're in, well, that brought them to their knees, which was the best thing that could happen for you, Virgo, or again, to the person that, again, Virgo, you're connected to, because it's made the person aware of, again, the difference between you and the person, again, that they were connected to, and possibly other relationships, or again, that have created the wound to begin with, because this relationship has not been the person's first relationship. Okay, my emotions are like a roller coaster now. I don't know what I want, but I'm trying to find out. And I think that's because, again, your person is being guilted and manipulated by not one person, but by a lot of people. And if they get away from that person, they would be able to see, but they understand on some level that something's off. Now, I think that your person, again, has a love of their family and has a love of not the person that they're with, but all the surrounding factors that they created together. So there's a lot of confusion which happens when a relationship breaks up. But this relationship is not worked in a long time. And so, but this is a natural process. It's a natural, because we always grieve at the end of a relationship. And Virgo, if this is you, you have to allow yourself your grieving process. And if you're attached to somebody, you have to allow them their grieving process. Because it's, again, this person is leaving a relationship because they're actually outgrowing what was, again, and I think part of that is also the toxic behavior. Again, maybe we're too different. That's why we disagree and feel distant from each other. So it's, again, I think that your person, this is also normal when we don't see a way to make it work. We lie to ourselves and we say, maybe it can't work. And it can't work because, again, I am very rigid thinking. I'm very grounded. I have, again, very strict belief systems about how things should be. And they're obscure. Like when I say obscure, it's like obscure in how much I'm going to give you. Obscure, my heart isn't really open. And I don't really want to look at things from your perspective. I'm opinionated. So it's, again, and I'm deluded. So because of my thinking. So what happens over time is, it's like the person, if they can't see a way to fix it, they're going to say, well, maybe it just won't work out. But then it's not real. They're coming from an emotional standpoint. That's why during these type of relationships, you'd have to get a reading every day, and you would see the emotions change. And the emotions change because this person's trying to control, again, how they feel. And by, again, standing behind their deluded way of thinking, again, that you need to be subservient and go to them, and again, and be happy with what they give, which, by the way, I believe for you, Virgo, a lot of it is like repeated. Okay, you're always in my heart, even though I'm not in touch. I observe you from a distance, and I'm going to leave it there because we are at 40 minutes. And so understand that your person cares about you, but again, they're going through something, they're ending something. So they're not secure enough. They're not, and they don't have enough control over their own life that I believe that they feel confident enough to reach out and be in your life right now. But this person is in the process of awakening. So I'm sure as time goes by and we do more readings, we'll see your person move, Virgo, because again, it's a story, and the story is for today. This was the story that the person's stuck in their thinking. They're trying to convince themselves maybe this isn't going to work out because this is hard, because I'm emotional. My emotions are all over the place. And that is, again, when the heart and the mind are fighting. And I believe for the first time, this person is actually thinking about their heart. Now, anyone that listens to this web live cam, because I did not know that it was going to be on, I just kind of jumped on. Let me know whether or not you resonated with this story. And if you do, leave a comment in the comment bar, like, subscribe to the channel, and you may win a free psychic reading with me. Again, anything you need to know about the channel, you can find in the description box below. And I will see you all soon. Bye, Virgos.